Okay, couple more things, guys. Uh, Insta polls. Okay, most polls in America are going to be a little bit anticlimactic because they just break down on partisan lines. That's why these issues that test 60, 40, 70, 30, or 80, 20 are so significant, because most issues are, if Trump's for it, the Democrats are against it. Here are the two Insta polls done by two news organizations. Donald Trump would say, no great friends of Donald Trump. Very similar. 76% of people in the CBS poll approved of the speech, 69 of CNN. Those are massive numbers. Now, you got to account for the fact that these are polls of people who watch the speech. A lot of people who watch the speech are going to be Trump supporters, but nonetheless, those numbers are somewhat staggering. Finally, here's Chuck Schumer this morning on CNN commenting on Congressman Green's revolt and the general question of how Democrats did last night. Roll 113, please.
You called it nasty. You called it nasty. It was like 4 minutes into the speech when Congressman Al Green was yelling at the podium and he was escorted out. What was going through your head as you heard the congressman yelling?
Well, look, the bottom line is lots of people are frustrated, but the best way to protest what Trump is doing what we are doing and many senators and many congressmen are doing, and that is organizing against these horrible policies of calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme and then slashing
would you
people
rather,
in Social
would you
Security
rather
offices.
that Congressman
So here's
Green,
what we're, John, here's what we're doing.
Would you rather that he not yell?
Here, let me just say, the best answer, in my judgment, is to organize. So I put a call together last week with our activists. I thought 300-400 people would get on the phone. 3,000 people got on the phone. And what we all decided was we're going to focus our energy on the 6 Republican Congress members from New York, because they hold the key to stopping these horrible policies. As you know, in the House, all you need 1 or 2. In the Senate, you need 3 or 4. We don't have Republican senators in New York, but in other states there are. And the best way to organize and protest is to organize. Organizing is hard, but it's effective, and that's what we're doing.
A comment on Nicole, at least that's my gut instinct, but just your general thoughts about where last night leaves us going forward, particularly the Democrats in Congress and the president.
So I probably don't. I've known Nicole a while. She's obviously comms director in the Bush administration and was on the McCain campaign doing the Sarah Palin stuff. So I've known her a while, not best friends, but I'll just leave it at this. It was disappointing that for a group of people that are so sanctimonious about everything that Donald Trump says, to make those comments about a young boy, that we should all as Americans be able to applaud. And that's where I think I'll lead with the Democrats. I think Dan's tweet this morning, if you haven't seen it, summarizes what a lot of us thought on both sides of the aisle, which is there were opportunities last night to make it clear. Here's where I don't like Donald Trump. Here's where I don't like his policies. And here's where we can come together. And they missed a huge opportunity to show the American people that line, which is we can be for certain things and we can be, if you're going to wear blue and white colors to support Ukraine, then get up and clap when he talks about peace and he talks about ending a war. If the cancer thing, I mean, there were just issue after issue where I thought you guys look so stupid that your hatred of him is overshadowing the ability to get things done in this country that should be things on a bipartisan base. And for those reasons, as well as several others, I think Donald Trump did a brilliant job, and that's why the Insta polls show what they are. I agree with you; they're a flash. They're not scientific. They don't mean anything. But for most people, they sat there and said, "Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that." And he just highlighted their behavior, and that's where they took. You're right. They took the bait. They allowed people to see a contrast that they don't usually get to see, and he called it out by saying, "You know what? The idea that you can't stand for that is pretty telling as to who you are." And over again, they exposed a lot of what's really going on in this country. And I think that was great. I flagged last night equally the Politico headline when Al Green, who was told on multiple occasions to quiet down. And by the way, he was lying. He was getting up there saying, you don't have a mandate to cut Medicare, of which the president is not doing. So that in itself was a lie. Politico says Representative Al Green was ejected from the meeting. No, he wasn't ejected. He was given multiple times to say that he wasn't there, and he was removed for disrespectful and disobedient behavior that was in violation of the House rules. So these guys have so many advantages still. The media does not get this. It is so unbelievable how tone deaf these people in New York, DC, and LA are to what's going on in the rest of the country. But the one thing I did love is that it exposed it in a way that you don't normally get to see, because you don't see people sitting on their hands when a kid gets up who's dealing with this unbelievable disease in such a courageous way, and they don't have the gumption to stand up and clap. That to me was disgusting.
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I get Democratic anger, right? I get that, Mark, as you said, like, Trump lies, he taunts, he mocks. Like, Democrats were saying last night as that speech went on social media, like, Trump never, ever would say anything positive about Biden in these speeches online, or just everything Biden did was terrible and Trump found a way to hit him. But like, we just had an election and litigated this. Like, his leadership style, his policies, as you say, his policies are popular. And last night it was almost as if we acted as if he was illegitimate, right? That like, we are not going to stand and recognize you. We are not going to just acknowledge a single word that you say is good or positive. And as I said last night, like, the country won't hear us if we act like this. I mean, Al Green was an embarrassment. Like, if you're really upset about the entitlement programs, wait till he gets to the entitlement program, then stand up and say, whatever your piece is. But it was like, good evening, everyone. And he just wanted to get up, have a stunt, and like get kicked out. And I just thought it was embarrassing to be a Democrat last night. It was a disgrace that they would not show some humanity, for the child, for the man who got into West Point, which is just an amazing accomplishment. We want people to serve.
How about Lake and Riley's thing?
Yeah, well, that one I didn't have high hopes
I
for
could
anyway.
go on for there were 7 or 8 things. So I just think the bottom line is our leadership has no clothes. We need to get our heads screwed back on, and hopefully last night was the bottom of the barrel, and we start the march back up.